Good evening, everyone. Welcome to EBIX Presents News Agenda 18. We are all here to celebrate the emergence of India. To me, this agenda, it's all about discussions on revolving around the emergence of India and where India is headed. Having said that, I will give you a short story to begin with to talk about my impressions of India. How did I form my impressions of India? What should I be doing for India? 2003, I came to India and I was on the fourth floor of a building, one of the EBIX buildings in Noida, and I was standing absent-mindedly and looking back. And as I looked back, I saw a lot of slums. I started crying. I came down with tears in my eyes. People ask me, why are you crying? You're an Indian. You've seen slums all your life. What are you crying about? I said, no, I'm not crying because I saw slums. I'm crying because I've been coming to this building for 3 years. I never saw slums around this building. And I said, what it seems like, I've lost my ability to see. I'm so caught up with my thinking about the kick of building a business that I don't actually see poverty around myself. And it occurred to me that I have eyes and yet I can't see. And that's where I decided I need to do something about first myself and then about my country. And I thought I owed it to the country, and I basically, a foundation was born. I decided to make living for the underprivileged, providing happiness to the underprivileged in India, the single biggest thing in my life. Since 2003, the Raina Foundation that was set up after this incident has now been, we educate a few thousand kids in India every year. We also are building 6,000 homes free of cost for slum dwellers of Delhi in the slums of Bhavana. These are absolutely legal slums that we have been building. And the idea behind that is we want to provide a sense of identity to the underprivileged. We also are focusing on providing education to their kids. The only condition we set up to build these free homes for these underprivileged, and we've been doing this since 2006, quietly, we have already handed over 2,304 homes. And our goal is to build 6,000 homes. And our only condition to build these homes is, first, of course, it should be on legal land. Secondly, we want every kid in that home to go to school, especially the girl child. And we don't want them to sell the home for 7 years. Having said that, I started with that as my contribution to my country, to my motherland. Having said that, Mr. Modi in 2014, somewhere around 2014, Mr. Modi came to the US and started talking about Make in India and started talking about how intellectual property needs to be created in India and how Make in India will make India into the next superpower. And as he started talking about it, I started thinking I needed to contribute to India on the business side also. And in 2014, we decided we're going to look back at India and we will start investing in India as a business unit. Today, EBIX, the company that I run, we have put in close to $750 million in the last 24 months in India. We have invested. In the next 30 to 60 days, our plan is to invest another $336 million, which means we would have invested close to $1.1 billion already in our country. Now, why? Why did we do that, first of all? What has changed about India? To me, what has changed, first of all, I'll tell you personally, and I'm very proud of this one thing that I could tell you. I don't know about others, but I will tell you, I have never had to grease anybody. I will say this right now, I'll repeat it again. I have never had to grease anybody or bribe anybody in India. You see, it's a two-way street. If you don't want to grease somebody, nobody is going to be able to force you. People take shortcuts. Today, what has changed, I believe, in India is the way the corruption was institutionalized. I don't see that happening right now. From my perspective, I have not had to fight greasing the system. To me, that is the single biggest accomplishment. So sometimes people ask me, I'm based in US, Atlanta, and sometimes people ask me, what do you think, should Google invest in India? Should Microsoft invest in India? And is the pace of the large company investment good enough? And I reply back, why does that even matter? India, in my view, is standing at a point where it doesn't have to go out and seek investments. If these guys, if the large MNCs sitting out in the US, France, wherever, whichever part of the world, if they don't invest in India, it is their loss. India will keep moving forward. India as a country is emerging as a superpower. India is going to be an economic superpower by the year 2035. We are going to be amongst the 4 biggest superpowers in the world. So why worry about it? And we felt, as EBIX, if we don't invest in India today, we would be left out. It's not India's loss, it's our loss. Having said that, I believe if India, as India has to move forward, the one thing that needs to change in India is, it goes back to what Mr. Modi talks, make in India. I call it India 2.0. To me, India 2.0 is all about creation of intellectual property. We need to create the next Microsoft, the next Amazon, the next Facebook out of India. Why can't Indians do that? We have all the intellectual property. Why do we want to work for others as mercenaries? India has done well in creating great companies in IT, but we are working for others. We're doing hourly work. That has to change. To me, that is the power of India, and that is what will spell India as an economic superpower. Having said that, what differentiates us as Indians? You see, I am a compassionate believer. I'm a big believer in compassionate capitalism. I'm a big believer that trickle-down economics doesn't work. What I mean by that is, if we are just going to keep thinking we're going to generate businesses and the jobs will create, that doesn't always work. We'll have to go at the basic level and help build the underprivileged and provide education at the core level. We'll need to create jobs on one side, but we'll also need to think about the underprivileged. That is why I think the new health plan launched by the government, the newer policies launched by providing gas to everybody, I think these are fantastic moves. It needs to be coupled with what is going on in terms of capitalism. Having said that, what does compassion really mean? I'll give you a very short story, and after that I'll shut up. And my story is, a few years back, in 2006, I was shooting with an international television channel, and they were shooting a film, and I had a 4-year-old kid by the name Raghu sit beside me. I was sitting in the slums of Bhavana doing the shoot. This kid Raghu had a banana in his hand. This banana, so I knew Raghu for almost 5-6 months. I used to go in this school. This is our school for underprivileged kids. So I took the banana and I hid it behind me. And Raghu started crying. And I said, Raghu, why are you crying? I gave the banana back to him. I called the teacher. And she said, you can't do that with the banana. I said, why not? What's the big deal about it? I've been playing with balls and everything, and I hide the ball, and he doesn't cry. But when I hide a banana, he's crying. She said, listen, every morning when Raghu comes in for breakfast, we give him 2 bananas. Raghu eats 1 banana for breakfast, and he takes 1 banana back for his mom, for his mother. He wants to make sure that his mother gets food because he's not sure whether his mom is going to get food. Every time I think about it, I get goosebumps. To me, that is what love is all about. That is what I learned. Do I have the same compassion as Raghu has for his mom? I feel as Indians, this is to show the compassion that Raghu showed for his mom, for our own motherland, India. India is our motherland. Each one of us need to find the Raghu within ourselves. Remember, I always say this while I stand here and talk about all this, everything that goes up has to come down, right? And when it comes down, if you're happy, you're very successful. Always, as a human beings, we need to remember, coffin doesn't have a pocket. We're all here to live and be happy and play our role. And today is the time for each one of us to play a role in the emergence of India. Having said that, thank you. Enjoy the evening. And I'm honored to be here to celebrate the sacrifices of our army men. Thank you.
I'm going to request Robin Raina, please wait, gentlemen, and ladies, please wait. We've not yet concluded the proceedings. Robin, quickly a word of thanks, please. Robin is the chairman and CEO of eBix Incorporated, who've helped us put together Agenda 2018 and Jai Hind Samman. And we are donating the entire set of proceedings from the sponsorship and what we've got towards the service of the families that we have felicitated and offered our tribute today. That's a commitment that we have taken. आज हमने फैसला लिया.
थैंक यू एवरीवन. मुझे बोला गया है वोट ऑफ थैंक्स देने के लिए, तो मैं एक दो चीज़ें बोलना चाहता था. एक तो आई फील वेरी ऑनर्ड टू बी ऑन स्टेज, हैव बीन ऑन स्टेज विद डिफेंस मिनिस्टर मिसेस निर्मला सीतारामन. I feel very proud of that because this is the first time India has had a woman defense prime minister. So I feel that's amazing. The second part I wanted to say was this is an amazing night where the passion of what India stands for came out. As an outsider, in a way, when I step into India, one of the things I wanted to say, I said it in my introductory talk, but I want to repeat that here again. For me, the biggest achievement of the Modi government is giving in a government where people like me have come into India and invested $1.1 billion in the last 24 months in India. I wouldn't have done it in the pre-2014 days. After 2014, when Mr. Modi started talking about Make in India and everything associated with a corruption-free India, I can tell you with my personal experience, मुझसे किसी ने रिश्वत नहीं मांगी है इंडिया में आज तक. So having said that, I feel the single biggest responsibility for each one of us here is nationalism is a big issue today. All of us should feel proud of what we do. I feel हम हर इंसान को अपनी तरफ से मेहनत करनी है देश के लिए. मैं अपनी तरफ से 6,000 घर बना रहा हूँ दिल्ली में, बवाना के स्लम्स में. 2300 घर में हैंड ओवर कर चुका हूँ और मुझे लगता है ये मेरी एक छोटी सी कंट्रीब्यूशन है मेरे देश के लिए, जिस देश ने मुझे यहाँ तक पहुँचाया है. Having said that, thank you, sir, for being here, Mr. Amit Shah. Thanks for gracing the occasion. Thanks to all the army men, all the people from armed forces who make us feel safe in our country. Thank you.